Offering a cup full of love after tempering with the self, gaining new perspectives from new experiences, and allowing that to be almost like trial and error, but not for the point of experimentation, to manipulate, to control. That's science. You have a control group. This is the foundations of what was built from the past, releasing those things, understanding that this doesn't work for me anymore. That truly is being practical, as much as understanding that our emotions are so important. They're so fucking important because you can't intellectualize everything. You can't. Like, truly, it's unfathomable that there's a okay, wait. Let me backtrack. You can learn and expand the level of awareness. For example, when it comes to communing with someone and being in a connection, if it stifles your light, your childlike joy, that is not a relationship that works for me. For me. Disclaimer, everything is based on my own experience. What works for me may not work for you. So please use your own discernment. Hi guys, it's Kai. Allowing myself to be with me, to experience my emotions. I think one of the biggest things that I've learned from infatuation, limerence, putting someone on a pedestal, feeling unworthy of love, trying to prove something, forcing a connection, all these experiences that I've had, right? One of the biggest key things is if it doesn't flow, it won't go. So not forcing a connection, not trying to, okay. You can work together to make things work out, and yet at the same time, there is a moment of recognition where it's not working out. No matter how many times you repeat yourself, no matter how much you show up, no matter how much you change, it can be in a positive and also negative light. I really hurt someone in the past, and I decided to change my behavior. And she continued to paint me as what she told me is the demon. And everyone is capable of evil. No one is wholly good or evil. And yet at the same time, to distinguish and define is so, I feel like it's not realistic. There are ups and downs in life. We are constantly experiencing things with the self, our emotions, our thoughts, our cyclical thoughts, our ego, the past, the future, the fear, the worries, the love, the purity, the cleansing, the releasal, everything and nothing. Sometimes I'm going about my day and I'm like, That's literally it. Because I'm like, why am I not feeling anything? No, I'm not. If I don't feel anything, then I don't. And it's like not trying to put myself in a box. So going back to my first point, it's like I have to temper. I have to balance my own emotional state so that when I go into spaces, I can be authentic. I can be intentional. I can provide space. I'm an introvert, so I do require time in order to be with myself. I require myself time so that I can go forth into the world and be whatever I'm meant to be. Sometimes it's this very energetic, extroverted part of me. Sometimes it's this calm, serene, silent part of me. It doesn't matter. It's just whatever is most authentic. Authenticity, honesty, being real with myself, being open to different perspectives, allowing other people's experiences to be their own and not attach or identify or cloud my own judgment of who I truly am to me, what I experience. The only person that really gets to understand you is you. Period. Point. No matter how much you explain to someone, sometimes, okay, sometimes it's not always like this, but at the same time, once again, ups and downs, frequencies, we are a constant flow. Life is not fucking linear. And I do feel like, especially with masculine energy, that's always like, this is going to work. This is how it should work. And if it doesn't work, there's frustration, there's anger. When in reality, it's like, how can you expect the same thing to give you the same result as we continue to literally grow? I mean, physically, mentally, emotionally, whether it's subconscious, unconscious, or conscious. And it's like, that in itself is this illusion of control. And it's like, we all have divine feminine energy and divine masculine energy. It's what you choose, what you embody, what you naturally are. That's why, like, being spectrosexual is like, that's just what I am. That's just what I am. And it doesn't mean that I can't admit the fact that I'm more prone to being drawn to the divine masculine entity, okay? Entity. So that's very specific for me, my experience. I actually haven't met a single spectrosexual person besides myself, which is quite a solo journey, and yet at the same time, it makes sense. It makes sense for me. So it's whatever works for you. It's whatever brings out your light, where one can be neutral as much as accepting and acknowledging and discerning. Putting down boundaries is to let people know how to treat you. It's not, I mean, okay, there's a lot of things that are talked about in like the realm of psychology. And there are a few things like perpetuated in like social media, for example, where it's like, it's just, you could look at things from both sides, you know? Like truly, one of the things is like, what was it? For example, this whole construct of a man needs to approach the woman. I don't truly see it or experience it in that way all the time. Because one of the biggest things for me is if I'm not attracted to someone, and I don't mean just physically, I mean literally, energetically. And of course, it's like compatibility is important, things like that, yada, yada, yada. And so if a guy comes up to me and I'm not drawn to them naturally, I will make it very clear, because I feel like it's a disservice and disrespectful to that actual act. I have gone up to guys and been like, so can I get your number? Are you single? And then there's been times where it's like, I'm sorry, I have a girlfriend. And I'm like, I was told from someone that is occasionally used as an excuse. And I'm like, damn, they're willing to lie. They could just say no. They could just say no. And I'm like, okay, for me, I don't want to lie, right? So, or I don't lie. I really want to establish that, because one of the biggest things that I learned from a recent lesson is that the moment that I start to deny how I feel, when I already knew that I was attracted to this person, the moment that they literally walked past me, I can't explain it. I was like, okay, is it the physicality? And I was like, I don't really have a type, so it's really hard to say. And I was like, honest, like I kept trying to prove to myself, like, okay, I'm wrong. Like, this is not it. I would go to different events. I would talk to different people. I would listen to different music mixes. I would literally put myself in a position where I was repressing how I felt, and it fucked me up, man. It really fucked me up. I was putting a stick in my ass and I was closing my throat. Like, I wasn't speaking my truth. And then when I started to speak my truth, I realized, like, oh, they're not receptive to me. I'm gonna stop. Oh, the thing that I was gonna bring up. You don't need to explain yourself. And I've said this in my past videos, and I do kind of still align with that, because it's like, I've already said what I needed to say. And if they don't take my word for it, they don't take my word for it. Yes, sometimes my body language does not align with those words, because that is not the purpose of what I'm there for. And I was recognizing that recently. I was like, you know, I go to events because I want to enjoy the event. I'm not there to go and flirt. And I mean, I'm opening myself up, but at the same time, that's not my purpose. That's not my intention. I'm there to enjoy the space and to interact with the environment, the community of people. That's my intention. So it is hand in hand. It's like, if I want to go up to this person, I will. If I have something to say, then I will. But if I don't, then I won't. And it's kind of like this whole thing. It's very interchangeable. So once again, going back to my first point, I need to temper and balance my space so that when I go into environments, I can be the most purest and authentic form of myself in that moment. Because every moment is passing. The only moment that exists is this infinite presence. The past and the future are small little circles. The present moment is this big circle. Think of a Venn diagram. When I overthink, when I attach to the past, my past and future are so big that my present moment is so fucking small. My body is unaligned. I'm not present. I'm not paying attention. I'm not taking my time. So many things that I've learned from denying, repressing my feelings, from rushing the process, from forcing a connection. So yeah, I really wanted to share that because I was like, honestly, today's kind of a rest day, but it comes so naturally when I'm like channeling and doing all these things and just being with myself. I'm like, oh my God, this is such a good point. This is such a good point. I just need to fucking share it. So honoring the inner child is so fundamental. I feel like that's the one foundation that I always go back to. It's like, what's fun for me? Abraham Hicks talks about this a lot, and I believe that to be true. What's fun? What's enjoyable? What brings peace and love into my life? What fosters that? What cultivates that energy? What inspires me? How can I create from a source of purity just to create? There's no fucking reason. Because the physical matter is just energy exchange. Money is just energy exchange in the physical dimension. Putting so much importance into that, it skews my intentionality when it comes to creating my art forms. Art is a form of love. Love is an art form. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being you. Seriously, thank you for being fucking alive, bro. And I'm sending you so much love and support on your own spiritual journey. Bye, guys.